Do you want a life where you really thrive in? Or do you want to stay in the rat race, the quiet desperation, depression, or even burnout? I think we all here at the Greator Festival, we aim for more. As you've heard, my name is Miriam Schmidberger, head coach of Turtle Transformation, and I'm really driven to find ways that make it easier, more joyful, less painful, to create this life where we really thrive in, where we feel at home in, where we even at some point get this feeling that the challenges are customized for our growth. Most people start this journey with huge amounts of pain, me included. And if there's just one thing I can give you today, it's this. This is absolutely not necessary. How do I know? First of all, I think the picture we all have about the world and the people is way worse than it truly is. I say this out of experience, knowledge, and a huge database that's backing me up. One great book that collects really a ton of scientific data about this, that we people are way better than we think, the world is way better than we think, is the book Humankind. I'll just give you a few markers there. In the 1800s, the poverty rate was around 90, and it's gone down to under 10% by today. And the other thing is, battle-induced death is going down since a century. You wouldn't think this with hearing about those wars and all this, but it's going down consistently. And the last thing of the data I want to share is life expectancy. It has been around 30 in the 1800s, and it's over 70 by now. So what I want to do with you today, I invite you onto a journey, an expedition. We walk into the unknown. We discover new things. Some of them might be scary, even a little painful, but we also have the chance to find new stunning places in ourselves, outside of us, in our connections. So please follow me onto our tiny expedition on 3 peaks, mountain peaks. The first we climb is embrace changing yourself. Very often we tie our identity to our behavior that we show in the outside. But most of this behavior is just one option of how we could express what's inside of us. And more often than not, we've decided on this option when we were really tiny. So now I invite you to make an update, if you like. And I'll give you an example from my marriage. My marriage was, let me phrase it like this. First, it looked like a ticket to divorce, but now it's a fire and ice growth accelerator marriage that opened up horizons we've never thought possible. Woo! And one thing we had there was a pattern. I approached my husband in a certain emotional state, and he reacted in a way that really fueled my desperation. And both of us couldn't stop this. And we ended up being in this dance of desperation again and again and again. And then I got lucky. Somebody asked me, what do you want from your marriage? Oh yeah, what do I want? Unconditional love? So the person said to me, are you able to give unconditional love? Phew, no. And that brought me to this reflection of, what can I do so that my husband doesn't have to change himself? And what I discovered with a lot of great help is that I can step inside myself and be there for me, and by this get the freedom to choose different options how I can react on the outside. And what I want to do now with you is a tiny experiment. Just choose a situation where you have a recurring pattern. It can be within a relationship, something that really triggers you, or just something tiny like a coffee cup on your desk in the office every day with this stain there empty, and you talk to the people and it's still, you find this coffee cup again and again. So just choose one situation where you are triggered again and decide on it. Does everybody has one situation? If you don't want, just choose one. Decide now and follow me by closing your eyes. Breathe deeply in and out. Connect to your breath. And if you are not well with closing your eyes, just shift your gaze inwards and start to breathe deeply. In and out. Maybe even in through your nose and out through your mouth, and let go of the tension. Your breath is your anchor. It anchors you to the present moment. So part of your awareness always stays with your breath. And then take the rest of your awareness to yourself in the situation you've chosen. And connect to yourself in the situation. And just start to be aware how you're physically expressing yourself in this situation. Maybe your hands are in fists, or maybe you are even crying. Just see how you express yourself physically in this situation. Get a clear picture of yourself. Be a curious observer. No judgment. And when you feel shame arise, just take it as additional information. Do not use it to cloud your judgment. And see if you can see something new about yourself. Then store this information in the back of your mind. Keep your eyes closed and now step away from yourself in this situation, a little bit further away so that you can see more of the whole setting you are in. And just do the same again. Collect some data about you in the situation, maybe about the other persons involved there. See what's happening and see what changes how you feel in this situation. And do the same again. Store this in the back of your mind. And now just ask yourself, is there anything in this information I've collected that gives me another idea how I can react, how I can interpret this situation? And then slowly let go of the whole thing. Become aware of the surroundings again, the people around you, and slowly come back here to this keynote in the present moment and open your eyes again. So what we did there, we just looked inside of us. If we see anything that we can do differently or that we might interpret differently. And with this, we actually come to the second peak we want to climb in our tiny expedition here. It's make hell your comfort zone. You might think, yeah, you know what, hell is not the place I want to be. But actually, when we feel emotionally triggered, it's some kind of hell. And by embracing to change us in the way we just practiced, you already start to make hell more comfortable for you. By being there for yourself in those moments, you start to make this moment, this emotionally highly triggered moment, a little bit more comfortable. And the other thing you do by actively choosing to make hell more comfortable for you is you give yourself more options, more freedom. Because when you're comfortable in a situation, you are not ending up in this fight or flight moment, in this frozen moment. You have your whole resources available for you. And you can really step back. You have the feeling you still have time. You do not have to fight. You can really step back and take your time and see how you want to react in a moment that's really challenging for you. And the last peak we climb today is know why you want to do this. Why do you want to take the energy to make hell your comfort zone, to embrace changing yourself? In my case, with my marriage, the first thing was, yeah, I took my marriage really, really seriously. And a few years in, I felt starting to feel a little weak, just this, whoa. But there was a tiny part in me that kept me going. And I started to search for this part because I wanted to know, why is this part there? Why does it want to stay in there? And actually what I discovered there not only fueled my way further to stay in this challenge of my marriage, but it also is actually the basis for my whole work. I found the belief deep inside me that we all we people, me, you, we are really good inside. And if we behave out of line on the outside, then there is a reason within us that makes absolutely sense in our subconscious system. It doesn't have to be like clear to ourselves what it is, but there is a reason, and in the context of our whole being, it makes sense. And it's the best way to express ourselves in this moment. This really helped me to step back in my marriage and to understand that my husband is not actively trying to hurt me, or that my colleague or teammate is not actively there to sabotage my ideas or process, making it difficult for me. It's actually the only way that he knows to express himself in this moment. And by this, I created the room for myself to be there for me first, calm me down, make it more comfortable for me, and then I could approach the other person in a different way. And it also fueled me in those moments when I was really challenged by my life, by other people, by whatever comes up. And I had this voice creeping into my head telling me, that doesn't make sense. Why should I do this? I just go kite surfing, let the world be how it is, or let my husband deal with his shit and whatever. But then this why popped up again and it said, there's a big chance to really make it great. Yeah, okay, I do another step. And with this why, I entered a world that I never saw possible for myself. As I said in the beginning, a life where I really feel that I'm thriving in, that I really love, and where I really start to get this, not only in my head, this knowledge, okay, the challenges are there to grow myself, help me grow, but I really get this connection to my heart, to my gut, that I feel, yes, that's again a customized challenge. That's exactly what I need. Let me see what feelings are in there. What is it that I can learn from there? And this is something that really makes my whole life, everything that I do, so different and so much more mine, that I just want to invite you all to try it. And with this, we've climbed the first mountain, embrace changing yourself. And actually, while I prepared for this keynote, I had to do all the steps again and again and again. I realized, now there's a moment again. I need to change myself, because when I'm too nervous on the stage, I won't deliver so that you can enjoy it or understand it or feel connection here. Then embrace making hell my comfort zone. Yes, that's something I think that comes up again and again, no matter what you do. We just had a moment when we arrived here late at night at the hotel and they couldn't find my reservation. That was this, I just prepared so well to not have this moment, but it was there. And what I realized, or the present was what I got in there. I have an angel with me, and she actually solved my problem for me, and I really felt supported. And that was so nice. And the last thing, the why. Why do I do this? I do this because I think all of us have the option, the ways, the things available to create a life where you personally really feel it's yours. It's yours, and you wouldn't change it for anything. And with this, we now follow the natural rhythm of the explorer, we rest. We make it ours. We let it sink in. We let it do its magic inside of us. And by this generate more energy, more clarity for the next challenges to come that our extraordinary life is offering us to grow, to make it ours. Thank you. Woohoo!